we don't really have either. You know?
But I mean, how many? Okay, tell me this: how many expat couples? So you got like a dude from the West marry a girl from the East, where you look at him and you say, "Yeah, they did it. They transcended the cultural boundaries, and this is an example of true love and true connection."
I've seen it.
I can think of one example.
Me too. One.
Is it David and Song?
Yes. Absolutely.
We've brought up David before on this podcast.
Crazy Thailand, David.
Oh man, like I remember like the first time I met them, you know, and I remember just being kind of mortified by David because his crazy is just like out there. You know what I mean?
He was a great guy.
Yeah, and I learned to appreciate him later on. But you remember, like, when
we're
I
gonna
first
have
met
his
him.
ass on the show one day.
Oh hell yeah, we're gonna have him on there. That'll be like one of the great episodes.
David will get his own YouTube channel after that.
It's what he needs, man. That might be the only way he can survive.
It really is what he needs. He needs to have his congregation.
He could have a cult out here on Maui.
I would come like once a month to the congregation. I'd be like, hey, what's David talking about today?
Oh yeah.
All right, okay, all right.
Guaranteed to be something interesting.
2 times a week, though, I'd be like, nah, David, see you next month.
No, small doses. But we're missing the important element of this puzzle here. Song.
Oh, we almost got off topic there. We got to watch that.
Oh, yeah, dude. So, Song.
What a name.
What a name. This little... So what was she?
Chinese.
I thought she might be. She didn't look Thai or Vietnamese.
She's Chinese.
Song is like, oh, my God, what a soul. Like, she just has this energy to her that's just so calming and beautiful. And, like, you know that they found each other. Like, David is like this tortured genius, and Song is like maybe the one person in the world that can soothe him, you know, that can, like, give him peace of mind.
He truly is a tortured genius.
Oh, but they're perfect for each other.
She you know what kind of vibe she gives? She gives a mom's vibe, our grandmother. She gives a saintly vibe to her. You know, let me tell you about going over there once a month when I would go to David's. Take your shoes off. They have their side apartment on this huge high-rise with a beautiful view. Mountains and beach. Mountains, beach. Sunset. It's perfect. We go in. David would offer me, I think we would smoke first. Smoke on his little shitty couch, listen to his ridiculously fucking weird music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He tried to take over the music a couple times. I had to stop. I was like, enough of this fish bullshit.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, fuck, man. Now, he loves the Grateful Dead.
Grateful Dead.
Yeah, the Grateful Dead. He loved the Grateful Dead. But I'd always put up with it and let him control the music. And he's like, what do you think of this? I'm like,
Oh, that's a great reaction when somebody shows you something they love.
We've had some talks about that, some laughs about it. Eventually, we'd get beer. He'd always give us a cup with ice, get beer. Song would bring it. This is the thing. Song never really engaged in our conversation. And me and David would go back and forth in conversation for 2 hours before dinner. 2 hours of just... Song would serve this incredible, like, 3 or 4 course meal, man. It was fucking unbelievable. But she never engaged in the dialogue with us, really. He'd ask her a question occasionally, and she'd say yes or no, but she'd just cook.
Yeah.
Cook.
Yeah.
Cook. And then at dinner, always compliment her food because it was fucking good. And then she would talk a little bit. That's it.
Do you know what, though? Like, I don't want to say, because I didn't know him that well, but she did not have that subservient feel to her. She didn't feel like a typical, like, just, oh, I do whatever to serve my...
Yes.
Like, she definitely seemed very, like, very comfortable in her role.
Yeah, and...
God knows what we didn't see, like how much the two of them must interact together.
Well, I also want to say that we're not rich yet, so you're going to hear the neighbors mowing the lawn on occasion.
No, it's okay. Like I said, these things, like, they keep...
Okay, good.
Around,
yeah. But I think people would hear this story and think of her and think, oh, that's... typical Asian girl serving the man. No. This is what she just did naturally. She just took care of people.
Yeah.
You know, took care of me, took care of him. Anyone that came in that house was taken care of.
You know, the other thing, too, like, because I hung out with them, too, and, like, me and David, we were going deep on shit and all that.
I can barely hear you. What?
Me and David were going deep on shit.
Okay.
But Song, I remember her just so patiently sitting and listening to everything. You know what I mean? Like, she had just, it was almost like we're engaged in this fucking deep, like, what about this? What about this? What about this? and she's almost above it all. You know what I mean? She's just like, I could discuss these things, but my soul is content right now.
They read all the same books.
Yeah. Oh, do they?
Yeah, so they read books together. And then I guess, remember we talking about earlier, I guess she gives him that Chinese perspective.
She gave me some book to read, and I fucking forgot what it was. She was some like essential Chinese, like deep Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching sort of thing.
She teaches Chinese. That's her thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't know that. You should have told me that. I would have paid her. I would have paid her for an online lesson, you know?
Dude, didn't even think about it.
I didn't even think about it either. I didn't know. Man. Good, but a good couple right there.
Wait, but let me tell you about the one time David scared the shit out of me.
Oh.
Like, truly.
I'm not surprised.
Just once.
Yeah.
And it shook me to my heart. We were at the aquarium in Bangkok. It's a nice aquarium.
Yeah.
And we all took Molly.
Mm-hmm.
And we were having a fucking incredible time. And then I was looking at David. I couldn't tell if he was awestruck or just like anxious or it was too much for him.
Yeah.
But he wasn't quite comfortable. And we were going on to the last part where the whole thing surrounds you with sharks.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool. And me and Song are just like happy. But it was closing time. It's like 4. And everyone's like, security guard's like, hey, you got to go. And we're like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
David, on Molly, the fucking drug that makes you feel like you're having an orgasm constantly. This security guard comes up like, sir, it's time to leave. He's like, I don't want to fucking go.
Oh, yeah.
Get the fuck away from me.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like.
He's got an authority thing. He's got
on Molly.
Thing. Yeah.
How is that? How is that possible?
Because his brain is like.
It's overpowered.
It's overpowered.
The drug.
It's overpowered, you know?
If on Molly, Dean, I couldn't get angry. You could slap me in the face and be like, thank you. You know, like I couldn't get mad at anybody.
Yeah. No,
that's what scared me to my core. I was like, how? How is that possible?
Dude, I saw, again, I've only had a little bit of interaction with this man, but the very first interaction I had is like, we're at that restaurant. We're at the River Place. You remember the River Place there in D2? You know, it's got like a nice view of the Mekong River and stuff. And
that's right. They're in Vietnam.
Yeah. And we we just had a round of beers and he wanted another one, but the waiter wasn't around and stuff. And he was like, all right, I'm just going to go get it. I was like, oh, just hold on. Right. You know, like
Dean got a taste of it.
Like, just hold on. And he just fucking like goes up. He's like, hey, another beer. You know, I was like, okay, you know, but later they disappeared for a couple weeks. Like they went traveling through Vietnam and he came back. I was like, oh, how was it? And he was like, oh, I just get frustrated. And I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, we went to this temple and like I started meditating in the middle of the temple grounds and all of a sudden this guy came up and said, hey, you can't do that here. And I was like, who do you think you are? You don't think I can enjoy this sacred place?
Hey, man.
Think about the people. I was like, oh, shit. Like, this is a man who he's not going to put up with that bullshit, you know?
Yeah, David would get into some mini confrontations, yeah.
Yeah.
So he told me about one. They went home to Song's province to see her family.
Mm.
And they were taking, I guess, a van to the city. No, a bus. A bus to the city or something like that.
I'm so curious where Song's from, man.
So, Dean,
yeah,
there's a bus full of people. He's told me this story. I'm taking this from his account.
And by the way, that proves that David, like, is aware of how he is.
Oh, he's totally aware.
You know, like, he will tell you these stories, you know?
But you got to understand that his craziness, the guy that can get angry on Molly can also take you to the other side where it's just like, fuck, am I really going this deep with an individual?
Yeah.
You know?
So what happened on the bus?
Oh, yeah. Gotta stay on topic.
That's right.
Fucking Mary Jane's bitch. On the bus, yeah. Some guy was playing his music in the front row, like loud, some Chinese guy. And David knows enough Chinese to just baby talk, you know? He's like, I can't, no ways fucks with David. A lot. And that's one of my theories about him. Oh, my God. Remind me about that.
Yeah, he talked about that, how planes would, like, fly over his place.
I got to remember the story. I'm going to forget it. What am I
keep
talking
going.
about?
You're talking about the bus. The guy's playing music on the front row.
David goes up to him.
Yeah.
It says something like, turn off the music in Chinese. And he said the guy flips out. He's like in his face, yelling him, throwing a couple English words in there like motherfucker, you know? And he just keeps going back, and he goes and sits next to Song, and the guy just hovers over him screaming and yelling at him, man. Yeah. And then he went back and sat down. But on a bus, can you imagine that in China?
Yeah. I'm very surprised about that. Very surprised. Chinese people are usually pretty like, okay, cool.
It's David's story.
Yeah. How interesting. I've seen. Yeah. Go ahead.
That was my theory on David. Was there was this plane that would circle in Thailand where we lived, and it would fuck with him.
Yeah, he talked about it.
He even got out on the balcony, was waving a white flag like I give up, or something like please leave.
Yeah, I think he said he was like shooting lasers at him and shit, like all kinds of horrible shit.
But I've noticed that when I go out with him, like a dog barking
drives him crazy.
The conversation would be over. He'd be like, "We got to do something about the dog." Any type of sound. Get this. This is all coming back now. So I'm told him this one night. We're smoking. I'm like, dude, I think you have a hypersensitivity to hearing. Like, subtle things will set you off. We're having a great moment. Subtle dog starts barking.
Yeah.
He goes, you know what my father did? Audiologist.
What is an audiologist?
Audiologist works with people that get hearing aids and shit like that.
Oh, no shit.
Can you believe that?
Wow. So something's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like not being heard or something. I don't know, man. There's a theme there.
Wow.
It just keeps going.
Wow.
It's crazy shit.
But, I mean, that's how geniuses are, though. And I really do believe David's a genius.
Oh.
I really do,
Fucking brilliant person.
Yes. I was watching a video on Archimedes the other day. You know Archimedes?
Hey, I want to say that me and David laughed a lot as well. We had some really fucking good times.
He's a cool guy.
Cool cat.
That first time, like that meeting in Vietnam, I was like, man, this guy's fucking intense. But by the end of it, I fucking loved the guy.
David will love you for life. His love is fucking 100% pure.
The other thing that I had to learn to do with him is just laugh at him sometimes because he will try to take everything deep. Everything. And sometimes you just got to laugh at him and just be like, oh, look, there you go again.
I think that was my gift to David. Because sometimes he would be like, Chase, you're not that cultured. But I would bring him back to the shallows.
Yeah.
I'd be like, David, I'm exhausted. And there was one night where I got stuck there. I had to sleep over, and I was terrified. I was like, fuck, he's going to talk to me all night.
Dude.
Cut it off. The next morning, Dean, we spent the whole day hanging out on the beach, playing in the water, talking about shallow shit.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome.
Dude.
Talking to David about shallow shit. It was great, man.
That's pure wisdom right there.
Yes.
You need the shallow shit. You do. You got to go into the deep end sometimes. You do. You go in there, you grab some pearls in the darkest steps, but, man, you can't forget to be playing in the waves, man.
Yeah.
Hanging out.
Yeah.
Just shooting the shit,
Completely agree, man.
Yeah, well, that's the lesson of David right there.
It is the lesson of David.
Because that's what happens when you stay in the deep end too long. Oh, Jesus Christ, it gets dark, man.